So, good morning everyone, also tell me. So, today I would like to present you my research methodology, which titled Korean Wave as Soft Power to Attract Indonesia Tourists. Okay, so start with my background. So, my research questions will be how the Korean Wave as a soft power in Korea has an impact on Indonesia tourists to visit Korea. Soft power is the ability to affect others to obtain the outcomes one wants through attractions, rather than coercion or payment. A country's soft power rests on its resources of culture, values, and policies, which is according to Joseph Nye. So, Korean Wave is a term originally used by Chinese media in 1999, which refers to the phenomenon that young people in China are enthusiastic about Korean popular culture, such as Korean dramas and popular songs. It is also defined as the phenomenon that Korean pop culture is spreading overseas or Korean pop culture is gaining popularity in global market. So how important my research is to show Korean Wave as soft power can attract Indonesia tourists to come to Korea. My dependent variable will be soft power, while my independent variable will be South Korea cultural diplomacy to Indonesia. So for the next part, I will try to explain my literature review from IV, DV, and both on IV, DV variables. Okay, so my literature review on independent variable, which is Korean Wave. There are three sources that I got. So the first is a look into Korean popular culture and its tourism benefits by Joe Roland. And the second is Buku Pengantar Korea Sri ke-6 by Ina Kos. And the last is Korean Wave as Tool for Korean's New Cultural Diplomacy by Gunjong Park and Won Pike. So what I found the similarities between three of them is that the Korean Wave is generally understood as Korean cultural products such as televisions, movies, food, and sport. And the second is the Korean government is now attempting to capitalize on the Korean Wave in order to improve the country's reputation and draw more visitors. And the last is the term Korean Wave was coined by the Chinese press or Hanliu in Chinese a little more than a decade ago to refer to the popularity. Okay, for the next one is my literature review on independent variable, which is Korean cultural diplomacy to Indonesia. So I got two sources here. So diplomacy in budaya Korea Selatan dan implikasinya terhadap hubungan bilateral Korea Selatan dan Indonesia by Leonardo. And the second is Korean Wave sebagai instrumen soft power diplomasi kebudayaan Korea Selatan di Indonesia by Beatrix, Michael, dan juga FRD Rangkung. So what I found is that the South Korean government's soft power strategy is currently playing a major role in improving the country's national profile. And the second is South Korean cultural diplomacy has spread among the younger generations. So now is my literature review on both dependent and independent variable. So the first is pengaruh Hallyu terhadap minat masyarakat Indonesia untuk berwisata ke Korea Selatan. The second is fenomena Hallyu di Indonesia, and the last is K-drama dan penyebaran Korean Wave di Indonesia. So what I found from the similarities is that the development of Hallyu Indonesia also has an impact on the number of visits by the Indonesian people to South Korea. And the second is the success of Korea needs to be acknowledged. That Korea has succeeded in forming a culture of its own that is able to influence the countries around it, including Indonesia. And the last is the culture that arose from the Korean Wave, which is originated from the K-drama Indonesia, have become more and more attached. Okay, so for the next part, I will try to explain my theoretical framework, studying by the conceptual diagram, which is the South Korea, and also use cultural diplomacy, which is the Korean Wave, which we can see the product of Korean Wave itself is K-pop, K-drama, K-pop, and K-style, which somehow enters Indonesia and also become the impact the interest of Indonesian people to travel to South Korea. So now I'll explain my theoretical framework, especially in the conceptual, also the operational in my IV. So my IV is the Korean Wave. So my conceptual is that Korean Wave, also known as Hallyu, is a term used to describe South Korean popular culture that has spread around the world, including Indonesia, through films, music, lifestyle, and entertainment industry products such as television, dramas. The Korean Wave sells South Korean culture by blending traditional cultural life with today's contemporary culture. So the operational of Korean Wave is K-pop or South Korean popular culture has now established itself as one of the country's soft powers. The entertainment industry, which includes television series, music, films, and other forms of entertainment, has fueled the spread of South Korean culture in Asia. In Indonesia, Korean Wave attracts Indonesian millennials to learn Korean culture, language, and trends. Okay, next is my theoretical framework in on my DV. So my DV is Korean cultural diplomacy. So cultural diplomacy may best be described as a course of actions which are based on and utilize the exchange of ideas, values, traditions, and other aspects of culture or identity, whether to strengthen relationships or enhance social cultural cooperations, promote national interests, and beyond. Cultural diplomacies can be practiced by either the public sector, private sector, or civil society. So my the operational is that South Korea cultural diplomacy through Korean Wave Indonesia are used to shape a contemporary and non-traditional image of South Korea as a tool for culture disseminations. This is linked to the Korean government efforts to promote South Korean economic growth, since introducing South Korean culture and diplomacy in a friendly manner necessitates the productions of cultural products. With South Korea and Indonesia, these close friendly relationships foster mutual trust and strengthens economic, political, and social cultural relations. So my relationship between my IV and DV would be bilateral relations of South Korea and Indonesia. So my scope and limitation of this study is that because the Korean Wave has become a worldwide phenomenon, it is included in discussions about globalizations and international relations. As a result, the author, which is me, later will be concentrate on the debate in order concentrate on research issues. The problem boundaries were created to help focus research, and they are as follows: how Korean Wave can impact tourists to visit Korea. And now the last part is research methodology. So in my research, I will use the qualitative method, which is according to Stephen J. Taylor and Robert Bogdan, a qualitative research as research. They produce descriptive data in the form of written or spoken words of people and behaviors that can be observed. So my research strategies will be literary studies such as visiting libraries and ebooks, or I can use internet libraries that can be searched on internet. So since I'm in Pontianak right now, which is West Kalimantan, so there's one library which named Regional Library of West Kalimantan Province, which I can use to help to write or also to search for my thesis. Thank you. Tell me also and friends. Have a nice day and also happy fasting, happy Ramadan.